Hello everyone, and in this part we're going to be building government offices, a fire station and a shopping mall. Let's get right into the time lapse. As you see here, I'm building a slight hill to go up. I like adding like height to my cities, having different layers. I know sometimes they look pretty crap in City Skylines, the way that the buildings interact with the map height, but I try and fix that with assets. I think they're called like seawall assets, but I use them here to sort of make embankment sort of things. We'll see in a second. I think this is gonna be where the shopping centre is gonna be. Just looking for a good building, trying all the default vanilla assets, and I choose this one. So I think it fits the best. I mean, it looks semi-good. I would prefer if it was slightly bigger, maybe fit to the road more that I drew, but beggars can't be choosers, I suppose. Here I'm marking out a road to try and then attach these walls onto, well, the embankments. But then I realise I don't need them because I use move it to move them in. So I just delete them and place them freehand. So I'm sort of creating an embankment so that it goes up on a slope. You can't really tell the difference. Well, you obviously can tell the difference, but you can't tell that it's on a crappy slope. I can see Skylines with the terrain. Well, then I draw a line on it because you have to have road access to them, and if people want to go visit them like tourists, then you gotta provide them access. Here I'm just moving it because those roads sort of created the terrain to move up, and I didn't like that, so I had to move it down. Just smoothing the terrain out a bit, and here I'm using move it to make those more level. I found that if you tweak the roads that they're on, they can move quite well. You can get them pretty close to being level. Just making a small drop-off road for cars to go and drop people off or pick people up. Here I was testing to see if I could make it bigger, but it just looked pretty crap. None of the buildings really fit with that building. I was toying with the idea of having a second, like, competing shopping centre on the other side of the road. I didn't do that. It didn't feel like there would be two big shopping centres right next to each other on this small island. Well, semi-small. I don't actually know how big it is exactly, but it is quite small. This is where I do the government offices. So this will be like I suppose where people will get their passports, currency exchange, and then there'll be offices in there as well, like for government employees. I'm just making. I think the middle building is an opera house, and then the two other buildings are actual, like the oppression office or something. And I've just clipped them together using Move It to make a more foreboding structure. It's a lot bigger than the other buildings. They just are too small, I find. I'm using these. I think I removed these. I was trying to make them like I did with the other one, but the road goes up too high and you can't tweak them enough to make it flow. I think I end up using a key. Let's see. Do I use a key? Ah, yes. Here you go. I'm using a key to sort of provide a holding wall to hold the earth back, so that in that area there can maybe be car parks, maybe a park. There could be buildings, but I don't know yet because it's quite close to the government offices. There's probably going to be car parks for the government office employees, maybe, and then also people who need to go to the government offices. Oh yes, and this is the... I think I spend the most time on at the moment, because everything else isn't done yet. I have to detail all of it, but this is the fire station, I believe. So this will be the main fire station in the town area. There will be other fire stations, but this will be the main hub, I suppose. If there are other hubs with fire stations, I don't know. This will be the like forecourt, I don't know, area where all the fire stations that come out of those little garages and onto the road, connecting the buildings there. I find that if you want connections to buildings, the best roads to use are the like pedestrian paths that you get on the ones that don't add the bollards, because then you can put them under buildings and you can connect to a road and it doesn't really show that you've got that, but you'll still have the connection and people will still walk onto the road through into the building, so it looks pretty seamless. Here I was toying with the idea of maybe having a fireman training area where they would have because a lot of fireman training areas have like a big tower, and then that's where they would train like on fires. It's normally like a hollow tower, like concrete, and they'll train abseiling down and train clearing out the rooms as they go up. But in the end, this didn't really fit with this area. I may do another bigger fire station like out somewhere with it. We'll have a proper training area where the firemen would train. They can't really train in the game, but you have to imagine that they'll train. This is where I get to doing a bit of detailing, I think, of the fire station. Yeah, I'm plopping down some fire engines. I was getting a weird bug where I couldn't place things next to the building. Maybe that was to do with I've just realised maybe that was to do with the placing props on top of buildings mod that I can't remember the name of. That probably was the reason. Well, now I've just solved the problem. Excellent. Here I'm gonna add like a hashed area on the road. So it'll be a sort of, if you can't stop in that area, you have to keep clear. So you can't, if there is traffic, you can't stop. I don't know if anyone has this in their area, but this is what they have. If you drive into it and there's traffic the other side, I assume it's technically an offence. So you have to allow to always keep clear, because of the fire engines need a clear exit, so they can go and fight fires. I'm just adding some keep clear bits, I suppose. Not really sure you'd have those on the road. I don't think I've ever seen those, or have I? There might be a couple, but normally it's a sign that says like keep clear and do not enter unless traffic is clear. Just adding a back road. May add some buildings on that. It's probably going to be a pretty built up area around here. There will be more old buildings than new buildings. They'll be pretty tight together with little space in between them. I guess space is at a premium in this area, you could say. And there's adding some small amount of car park areas. These aren't functional, which I may go back and see if I can add some functional ones, or maybe just some cars to them, because they're a bit empty without them. Just adding a little, because this will be an arrow for people like visitors, but it'll also be for employees who work here, firemen. And some ground decals, just make the ground look a little less the same, I suppose, because it all looks a bit monotonous, this concrete texture that I have. I'm adding a thing. I can't remember what it's called right now. You can go if it's clear, basically. Give way. You got to give way to people on the main road. If it's clear, you can go. It's not like a yellow line where you have to stop. Just adding a small garden. Not really the best. I was covering up those default trees. I don't really like them very much. They're good, but there are better trees now, so it's not really worth it to use them. There are occasions where I will use them in places. I know I just contradicted myself, but yeah, I will. They're good trees. I don't know what I'm doing now. Just adding these little yellow. I really like the yellow, small yellow one. I really like small yellow ones. No, don't take that out of context. I really like the small yellow decal. It's good for yellow lines or markings. It's very clear. You can see it very far distances. I think that's the fire station done. Yeah, that was the fire station done. Here I'm just tweaking the roads a bit because you could see the blue of the under the map, like because the roads was too high to the key, and the keys have they do weird things to the ground, so it messes it up. Alright, this is the main roundabout. I thought I was gonna have a nice main roundabout, you know, because this would be the first thing people see when they come into the city. So I thought I'd make it semi-decent. I may go back and redo it because I don't really like it that much. I add some bushes, and it didn't really turn out the way I wanted to. I may find a better centerpiece as well, because I'm not really sure what an eagle on a it's not a pillar, it's an Egyptian thing that I can't remember the name of right now. I don't know, but yeah, I just add these colours, the red, white and blue. It's the only colours I have installed right now for these bushes, so that's the reason it's red, white and blue. Yeah, but other than that, I don't think I'd do very much more in this episode. So I'm going to leave it at that.